Hi, my name is Debbie Suey, and this is my video journal number 2 for Brandman University's EDUU676 Autism Spectrum Program. And this video journal is for the EBPs, the evidence-based practices. From the IRIS module, the EBPs that I am familiar with are the antecedent-based intervention, extinction, modeling, prompting, reinforcement, response interruption, redirection, time delay, and visual support. I would say in my classroom, probably use modeling, prompting, reinforcement, the response interruption, redirection, time delay, and visual support the most often. One time I used the response interruption redirection was with my girl who has autism. She was in a full-blown rage, but I knew that she liked to have things orderly and things had to be the way that she likes them. And she typically is the one that changes out my little Apple calendar. And I pretended to accidentally drop it on the floor, and she immediately stopped her behavior right away because she had to fix the calendar. Totally fixed the calendar, and then she was totally fine after that. Didn't have to, she didn't go back into the rage that she was having. She is my eloper in the classroom. Didn't have a problem with that, nothing. So sometimes, just little spontaneous things like the response interruption, redirection really helps. Moving on to the EBPs that are new to me would be the cognitive behavioral intervention, exercise, pivotal response training, self-management, structured play group, and video modeling. One thing with my new class, I have a mild, moderate, first, second, and third grade class, is that our speech pathologist does a push-in in my classroom, and when she is doing those push-ins, she will have activities for the kids to do, and she has them follow the specific directions that she gives. Like if she was wanting to build the Duplo blocks tower, she had to have the children ask another student for, the next piece. So it was totally structured, and it was part of her incredible flexible me program that she uses in my classroom. And it's really a neat thing to see when all of the kids are interested in doing it. Sometimes they aren't as happy with doing those kinds of things, but a lot of times they are. Also, the over under with a little squishy ball, so the kids have to be able to cooperate and learn how to get the ball from one end of the line to the other end of the line. It's really helps with the kids learning, what they need to do. At first with the speech pathologist, me with my aides there with the kids, and then us being able to it being scaffolded, so we can step back a little bit, and then they're automatically just doing it on their own without as much assistance. So that's neat. That is new to me, and that's new to me for this year with my kids. Some EBPs that I would like to learn more about would be the discrete trial teaching, the functional behavior assessment, functional communication training, peer-mediated instruction and intervention, scripting, social narratives, social skills training, task analysis, and technology-aided instruction and intervention. I have a little bit of experience with doing the social narratives. We had a student, oh my goodness, I would say five or more years ago, who we had to create these stories for her and have them readily available for her because she would do inappropriate things that that other students did not typically do. She would go over and she would pull things away. She would from other students. She was like a more aggressive student that I have seen in my mild moderate classes. So we had to do the social narratives with her that and then also we would have to do everybody is different. We would have to do different stories with her with that. So I would really like to learn how to create these social narratives in a way that would help many of my kids. I do have the girl that I do have in my classroom right now. She actually does have her own calm down book that does have the social narratives in it. She doesn't like to use it when she is in a calm down mode. However, we found out last week when I was out for NCI training that another student in my classroom likes her calm down book, and he really it really helped him to calm down, and that was great. And I'm glad that our speech pathologist was aware of that when they had called for assistance. So that was great. But I want to be able to be more knowledgeable about using the social narratives and exactly how to utilize them better. Like with my one student who doesn't like to use it as a calm down strategy, but the other one who does, that we didn't even think that he would have that. Another one that I would like to see in action is the functional behavior assessment. My district has 3 BCBAs now, so we have each one has 5 schools, so that helps because we only had the 2 before. But I would like to be able to see how it's actually done in real life, and with our students. I don't have any students right now that would need one. But to me, it would be really interesting to see all of the actual data collected from somebody that I know, from a student that I know. So it would be able to make more meaning for me. So the thoughts on the faces of autism. I thought that when I'm listening to the parents talk about their children, it's interesting because I think for Tyler's mom, the one thing that I got out of her is that she is realistic with how she views her child. She, states that he is very intelligent, but that also works against him because it causes him to have aggression because he can't communicate. She's very she knows her child. She says that she fears if as he gets older, will she be able to have him at home with her? She wants that, if he wants that, but she fears because he will get bigger, and this is just she's being realistic. She's thinking about in the future. So he's a little boy as this video was done. But she's got many more years with him that she can work with him. One of the huge things she said is to have patience with children with autism and not to underestimate the child with special needs. And that her son, people that have met him say that he has changed them, and they've changed him, he's changed them, so they are a team. And so working as a team with his teachers, with his service providers, with his mom, just everybody needs to be able to be on the same page to be able to effectively give him what he needs. I like how she talks about, when she's consistent, he's consistent. But then she also goes and says that, he sometimes doesn't like to take his bath at 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes he wants to eat instead. So she does change it up, but she's using him as the gauge to be able to change up things. And she also talks about how his foreign language, how is what she calls with how he's trying to communicate. And she says that might be awful, but then someone recognizes what he's saying, and he's just does a double take. So because they understood what he said, just how she really knows her child. With the kids Dylan and Mia, I got the perception that mom and dad really want to accentuate the positive on them more so than the negative. They're being very positive. That's the word. That's the only word I can think of. But just positive about their kids and what they and how they want them to be, and that the son he does recognize some facial expressions. So does the daughter. But then there's social situations that are a little bit harder for them to determine. Mia more so than Dylan. And then when Dylan talks about what he wants for teachers, so what they could do to better help students is give out less homework and classwork and maybe a little more open with their students, which the interviewer had to have him explain, which was really interesting. And Michael, where he became frustrated when he was asked to do a non-preferred activity, such as the interview, and said, I'm out by. My girl does the same exact thing. This video is done. Thank you so much for listening.